Hello, you're watching Tech24 on France 24. I'm James Creedon. Now, coming up on this week's show, science fiction becomes science fact as airships take to the skies. We travel to China, where one company is determined to be a leader in the competitive emerging market of driverless flying taxis. And a French startup offers a virtual ride to Mars using real footage from NASA missions past and present. Hello and thanks for watching. Now, here in France, as elsewhere, Uber and other applications have upset the status quo when it comes to taxi transport. But another revolution is on the horizon, and this time in the skies. Companies around the globe are developing flying taxis, and that's not all. They're driverless as well. There's no set name for them yet: taxi drones, flying taxis, or airships. Take a look at this report from Guangzhou, China.
Soaring through the Guangzhou skyline. No, this isn't science fiction, but a cab you could really hail, one day not so far away. An unpiloted drone taxi weighing 210 kilograms. It can fly for up to 28 minutes and up to 130 kilometers per hour. Powered by electricity, its lithium batteries recharge in less than an hour. And it's taking passenger flight tests.
So far, there have been 40 test flights with passengers, so I'm the 41st. Let's hope it's a lucky number.
Once aboard, some last-minute advice from the drone's designer.
You don't have to do anything. It'll take off by itself.
Where's the parachute?
No, there's no need.
With the destination already programmed, it's as simple as a tap of the finger on the takeoff icon. The drone is programmed to recognize and avoid obstacles, and in case of a breakdown, to head back to its takeoff point. This is the control room, where engineers will coordinate air traffic for the drone taxis and can even take over and fly the craft remotely. It's been tested 1,000 times under severe conditions like a typhoon or heavy mist. The drone cabs provide a new solution to help ease heavy pollution in China's cities, and there's international interest in the model. This delegation has come all the way from the Netherlands for a test ride.
So that's very promising. And the second thing is it feels very good, you know, very normal, so it's not doesn't feel dangerous or whatsoever.
In the space of less than 4 years, startup Yihang has hired a team of engineers and programmers at the top of the game to design, test and construct, at the speed of light, the finished 120 patent device, 100% Chinese. Holding the reins, CEO 41-year-old Hua Jihu, who is convinced his device will soon push driverless cars off the roads.
I think that in 2 years there will still be a lot of drones like this one in the skies. Up in the air there are less risk factors, less interference, much less than in a car, and an automatic pilot makes less mistakes than a human being. It reduces the risk of an accident.
At a price of 200,000 euros, 30 devices have already been sold and 300 ordered.
So tell us, Dan, a little bit more about what we just saw in that report, because it's an emerging trend and there's lots of other actors on the scene, right?
That's right, and one of the biggest actors is Airbus, whose subsidiary in the Silicon Valley, A-Cube, have developed a self-piloted, all-electric 8-rotor drone, which is called Vahana. Now, just for a small factoid, Vahana in Sanskrit, which is an ancient Indian language, means a vehicle.
Vehicle.
That's right.
Sounds good, but it's, it just means vehicle, basically. Yeah. All right.
So this test was conducted around the end of January, and the test lasted only for a minute, and the drone flew only at a height of 5 meters, which is not significant, you may think, but it's the first step towards building this drone. And it fits into the vision of Airbus, which is looking at such drones as cost-effective replacements to short-range transportations like cars or trains.
OK, well, flying right over the traffic jam. Now, to set our sights even higher and further, NASA is sending a probe to Mars on the 5th of May, whose stated mission is to detect the pulse of the red planet. Now, the French space agency, the CNES, has played a crucial role in developing the probe. Dan, this probe called InSight is unlike any other, that preceded it. Give us some insight into InSight, please.
Well, the first insight is about the name itself. It's a short form for Interior Explorations using seismic investigations, geodesy, and heat transport.
So that's an acronym. InSight is an acronym.
That's right. And as the name suggests, it's about measuring seismic activity on Mars. Now, what this instrument will be doing, it will be measuring Mars quakes.
Right.
So the seismometer on Earth measures earthquakes. So we'll be measuring this. Will be measuring.
You know, I never
Mars
thought
quakes.
earthquakes, earthquakes, Mars quakes. Very good.
That's right. So the idea behind this whole instrument is that it will be detecting the internal heat flow. It will also check the variations in the rate of rotations, and all this combined with the seismic detection or measurements, it will give us an insight into for example, here we can see the viscosity of the mantle, the size of the core, and the thickness of the crust. Now, all this information will help us to understand how Mars was formed and how it evolved into its current state. Now, as you mentioned in your introduction, the core of this instrument, the seismometer, is being developed or has been developed by the French Space Agency. It's its lead contractor, and the principal investigator is the Institut de Physique du Globe de Paris. So there's a lot of
there is a
involvement,
French connection for sure.
Involvement from
and they're
Paris.
going to be looking for microbes as well, from what I understand, potentially, but little basic forms of life. Now, there are no airships to Mars just yet, as we saw in that earlier package. So if we Earthlings want a taste of the InSight experience, there is another way: virtual reality. And another French connection, there is a French company aiming to use images sent back from the InSight probe to give us a flavour of the reality there. Now, we're joined from Nantes in the west of France by François Sivet of VR2 Planets. Now, first up, François, thanks for joining us. Can you give us some background into your company and what it does?
Hello, James. So my company, VR2 Planets, is born from a research project in 2013. The goal of this project was to try the new technology of the virtual reality to use the images collected by the space exploration.
Okay, and how did this collaboration with NASA come about? Start up in Nantes, and now you're working with NASA. How did it happen?
In fact, in last December, we made an exhibition in New Orleans. In this exhibition, the American Geophysical Union, it's a big exhibition of geophysicists. We made a demonstration of our application, and some people from NASA came to our booth and experienced our application. And they invited us to come to the launch event of InSight. We can work on Mars as if we were there.
Okay, and just a question for those curious about basic forms of life, microorganisms on Mars. Do you have any thoughts on that, or is that not your field?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if there's some life on Mars, but InSight will give some information about the temperature profile of the interior of Mars. So if we can constrain this temperature profile, maybe we can detect the depths of a possible liquid water in the Martian crust.
Okay, well, I guess we'll just have to wait and see. François Sivet from Nantes, thanks for that, and looking forward to experiencing life on Mars sometime soon. But actually, we don't even have to wait too long, right? Because we have a headset here, a virtual reality headset, that gives us a sense of what we could experience from the new images sent back from Mars, because there have already been probes, such as Challenger and others, that have sent images back, right?
That's
so
right.
Using
the HTC Vive headset, which has been provided to us very kindly by our friends from Studio 22 in Paris, I'll be exploring the surface of Mars.
Okay.
Okay, as you can see now.
So what you see in the headset is what we see on the screen,
and all these images are genuine. So, for example, here I'm standing on top of the Gale crater where the Curiosity rover landed. These extraordinary images are what I see right now is from the Curiosity, but there are images from ExoMars, which was another probe, and the applications, it's custom made. So right now this is for Mars. There are other applications. So we have the VR2 Chury, which is about the comet Chury, so you can explore the surface of the comet, and there's VR2 Titan, which is the moon of Saturn, so you can explore those fascinating images sent by the Cassini-Huygens probe.
So you have that on, you can look around 360 degrees, and it feels quite...
Very immersive, yeah.
Right, very immersive. Yeah. Sorry to bring you back down to Earth, Dan. Now, you thought that was a test, but it's not. It is time now for Test 24. Now, there are more and more humanoid robots being developed for a variety of purposes, and today we're going to introduce you to Hope, a benevolent bot designed to reduce stress amongst children in hospitals, paediatric patients. Tell us a bit more, Dhananjay.
That's right. This robot has been developed by the Rouen-based company EventBots, and currently it's deployed in the University Hospital of Rouen. Now, the basic idea behind this robot is that it diverts the attention of children, encouraging them to interact with it, play games on it. So there's a screen here, and there are multiple options. So you can choose to play a game, you can paint, you can even play a piano.
J'adore ce jeu.
So this is the
French.
piano application.
And I imagine, Dhananjay, the idea is to get kids away from just looking into their... We're now interrupting Hope, but the idea being that you don't want just kids in bed or in a chair looking at their tablets. You want them out of bed.
Exactly.
Active.
I think the bigger idea is to keep them calm, to divert their attention, because if they are undergoing some medical care, then the stress needs to be reduced, and that's what it does. So it can identify each child. So if the child has a badge,
face recognition?
No, it's not face recognition. There's an NFC sensor.
Yeah.
So with the badge, you swipe it, and then the robot identifies the child, and you can have a personalized interaction. And we have some pre-programmed phrases.
But before we get to that, I'm imagining that the idea here as well is that the robot is designed to be of assistance, to actually be a positive influence around the child. Because a lot of the time with tablets, you have programs or applications that are not necessarily very constructive or educational or helpful.
That's right. So shall we try the pre-programmed phrases?
Let's go for it.
What's your name?
Hello, my name is Hope.
Oh, and a little heart on the face at the same time. That's lovely.
Do you want to try one?
Do you feel hopeful?
Yes, I belong to Generation Hope.
Oh my goodness. The future sounds very bright, doesn't it?
And who knows, in the future, a robot could become man's best friend.
Right, and maybe develop a conscience or something, because right now, colourful, but maybe not a conscience, but still helpful, right?
Okay. Absolutely.
Anyway, that brings us to the end from Hope, Dhananjay and myself of this edition of Tech 24. Do stay tuned to France 24.